Hello. I'm going to be talking about the latest developments in British politics, which I find very depressing, I might say. So if you're in a depressed mood already, maybe you should skip this one. Johnson has removed himself from the battle for the premiership, leaving the field open for Rishi Sunak, which is what everybody wanted in the first place. And before I continue, I'll tell you I'm granniopteryx. I'm here on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. Since YouTube in particular isn't that scrupulous about telling you when I've uploaded new videos, I always let you know on @granniopteryx on Twitter, Gab and Parler. So if you subscribe to one of those, you'll never miss an episode, although maybe you'd have preferred to miss this one. Also, you can help my channel a lot by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you're, again, on YouTube, check your subscription regularly because they drop people's subscriptions as well, not just for me. Right, you can also help by donating, of course, and the links are in the description below. All right, so, back to Tony Blair, Rishi Sunak. I don't quite know what the Parliamentary Labour Party think they're doing. There's a group and they think they know best, and they found what they think is a handsome, dynamic, young metropolitan to lead their campaign. But they don't realise that the reason the working classes, the Labour voting working classes, voted for the Conservatives in the last election was Boris Johnson. It wasn't the Conservative Party policies. It was Boris Johnson. Let me explain. There was a writer called Gilly Cooper. She published a book called Class many years ago. And although a few things have changed and moved since then, the basic outline is still right. That is that the working classes, the lower classes and the upper classes have much more in common with each other than the middle classes. The middle classes are heartily despised by both ends of that spectrum. And you may wonder, it's got nothing to do with money, by the way. For instance, Rishi Sunak is obscenely rich and Boris Johnson is pretty well off, but he's not incredibly wealthy. But he's perceived as posh and Sunak isn't. And the working classes got thoroughly fed up of Tony Blair. They voted for him at the beginning, twice. They were Labour voters, so they voted for him, but with less and less enthusiasm for his brand. And now they loathe it. They know what it did to them. They know that Blair ditched them as soon as he could. And they don't want another middle-class metropolitan in charge of any country, any government they're going to vote for. And look, when you saw, I have a video somewhere, I saw a video, I'll try and find it, and if I can, I'll play it, of a BBC newsreader or commentator or somebody almost dancing on her chair when she got the news that Johnson wasn't running. Now, I think that's not so much because she hates Johnson, but because she knows Johnson is the only one in with a chance against the Labour Party. Now, I don't know why the BBC loves the Labour Party so much. The Labour Party is full of incompetence. Certainly Starmer isn't incompetent, that's the leader of the party. But he is surrounded by a bunch of box tickers who are known for their stupidity. Even the mass media makes fun of their stupidity. And if the government gets into their hands, it's just going to go, this country is going to go nowhere. And if Sunak does lead the Conservative Party into some sort of a victory, it will be with a margin so small that he won't be able to govern at all. So in any case, we are looking ahead at years of paralysis. And of course, I find that very depressing. I was so happy when Johnson, mind you, Johnson did disappoint me. I was so happy when he managed to take the Conservatives into victory in 2019. I was practically dancing in my chair, but he didn't fulfil his promise. But at least he got some things done. And he wasn't going to take us into the EU, and that's another thing I'm worried about. Now, I do not understand why the Conservative Party the Parliamentary Conservative Party, have steered the ship in this direction. It's just incomprehensible, and they must know that they're going to be heading a deeply unpopular government, which is going to crash in one way or another. And they don't seem to care. I don't think they know what they're about. Certainly there are a lot of backbenchers who are very discontented as well. It's not just somebody like me sitting in my attic here making videos for YouTube. And okay, all right, Rumble, BitChute and Minds as well. Okay, well, yeah, that's my take on the subject. I am baking bread. I always bake bread when I get depressed, and I've got a couple more minutes before it's time to go down and punch that dough. Yeah, maybe that's why I bake bread when I'm depressed. I get to punch something. Okay, so, this is Granniopteryx signing off until next time.
Well, this is all very exciting, isn't it? Hello and welcome to our look ahead to what the papers will be bringing us tomorrow. Am I allowed to be this gleeful? Well, I am.
Well, this is all very exciting, isn't it? Hello and welcome to our look ahead to what the papers will be bringing us tomorrow. Am I allowed to be this gleeful? Well, I am.